All right, welcome to 9.2. So this is an Aspire to Do. This lesson is not for everyone. Vocabulary that you need to know. A focus is a point, and a directrix is a line. Okay, directrix is a line, a focus is a point. This formula is important for you to note. Um, X minus h and y minus k is very similar from equation of a circle, which is why we do this right after. So let me just go through a problem with you. One more thing real quick. The P is half the distance from the focus to the directrix. So in this case, the P is this number right here, which is 1. But I'll go through more in detail about what I mean. All right, so this is an example of problem that you're going to see on Delta Math. So a parabola can be drawn given a focus. So remember, this is a point of 1 comma 10. So 1 comma 10 is graphed for you. It's right there. And a directrix of y equals 4. So y equals 4 is this line, okay? Uh, why? Because y is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now we're going to first look and see if we can find halfway between the focus and the directrix. So I can kind of do this by my eye. Um, if I put the dot right there, I see that this is from here to right there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I cut that in half, I have 3. So 1, 2, 3 is where I'm going to be putting this is called my vertex. And what is this a vertex of? The vertex is of a quadratic that's going to be going like this. It's going to be pulled in the area of the focus, and it's going to go away from the directrix. You can think of the directrix as a wall, and the focus is what it's pulling it to. Okay. They use this in examples of like satellites and stuff. All right. So now I have an idea of what can be said about the parabola. So I know a couple of things. The parabola has a vertex at this point right here, which we figured out is going to be 1 comma 7 is going to be my vertex. So 1 comma 7. And the p value, remember the p is going to be this distance, right? From right here. So this is 1, 2, 3. So my p is equal to 3. So I'm going to put that right there. And what it's asking you is what happens to the quadratic. Where is it? So this is going to be called, it's opening up um, in a positive way. And if it was going the opposite way, this is what it's not doing. Um, if it's opening like this, then it's going to be called opening down. Um, this is what it not is not. So I'm just going to delete that. So you're going to click the one that says opens up. Opens up. All right, let's go ahead and try another one. So a parabola can be drawn given a focus of negative 7, 2. Delta Math, luckily, it graphs it for us. The directrix is y equals 8. So here's our directrix. So we're going to start out by doing the same thing. So I'm going to go halfway. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This happens to be the same. This was not on purpose, but anyway. So about halfway is going to be right here. So this is my vertex. My vertex is going to be at the point negative 7, positive 5. So negative 7, positive 5. And then that can help me find out my p-value. So um, I know that my p is going to be this distance, which is going to be equal to 3. So p is equal to 3. And I would know that my parabola is going to be, remember that this is the wall, so it cannot cross the wall. It's not going to be going up. It's actually going to be going down, something like that. That is a horrible quadratic, but you get the point, right? It's going to be opening down. And my p is equal to 3 because that's the distance from like halfway from here, from the focus to the directrix, which in this case, if I count, is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so p equals 3. So really quickly filling this out, negative 7 comma 5 is my vertex. P has a value of 3, and it opens down. Right? Okay. Next one. So now we have a very similar situation, right? So negative 4, 1. I know that my parabola is going to be opening up because my directrix, my wall is right here. In this case, so I'm going to do the same thing, right? I'm going to go to about halfway through. I'm going to put my dot. So this is my vertex, which in this case is negative 4, comma, negative 1. So my vertex is at -4, comma, -1 vertex. Next thing I want to do is I want to locate my P. So since my quadratic is going to be opening up, it's going to be a positive number. So in this case right here, if I count, this is halfway the distance from here, from this point to the directrix, which is a line. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Halfway is 2 right there. So my P is equal to 2. That's that distance. P equals 2. And it says write the equation of the parabola, so I need to know what that is. So the formula for a equation of a parabola is right here, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it on the slide that we need. So the parabola equation is x minus h is equal to 4p y minus k. I'm just going to make sure that this is, there was a squared right over here. So I'm going to put that squared. Remember to do that. So x minus h, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just show you what I mean by this, okay? So the first number right here, -4, -4 is my h. The second number, which I'm going to put in green, -1 is my k. So I'm just going to substitute values in. So over here, I'm going to have x minus a -4. So negative negative is going to make that become a positive, just like in equations of circles. So that's going to be x plus 4, don't forget the squared, is equal to, since this is opening up, p is going to be positive. So it's going to be 4 times 2, which is 8. But we'll get to that in a second. And y minus k, I minus k, right? This is by k is -1, so negative negative is going to become a positive. So it's going to be +1, y plus 1, okay? So now I'm going to simplify this as much as I can. So I'll leave that the x plus 4 squared, I'll leave that alone. This can simplify to be 8, and then this can be y plus 1. I can play around with this a little bit more and like simplify things a little bit. So I can do distributed property here, right, to get the y by itself. So this is going to be 8y plus 8, right? Distributed, 8 times y is 8y, 8 times 1 is 8. I'm going to bring down that x plus 4 squared. I want to get the y by itself, so the next thing we're going to do is subtract 8 from both sides. So -8 from both sides. So this cancels out, so I'm going to be left with x plus 4 squared minus 8 equals 8y. To get my final answer, I am now going to divide everything by 8. So I get the y by itself, divide this by 8 as well, and divide this by 8. So over here I have y equals, right? The y is left alone, so y equals x plus 4 squared divided by 8, minus 8 divided by 8 is 1. So this is my equation of the circle, okay? One more commercial break, just real quick. If my parabola, which it does not, but if it opened down like this, I'm just going to show you how that changes the equation. So it's still going to be x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. But if it opens down, in this case, the p is going to be a -3. So when I plug in my p here, I'm going to do 4 times -3, because again, the parabola opens down, y minus k. So I'm going to do, my k here is 5. So I'm going to do y minus 5. I'm just going to set this up for you so that way you know how to proceed. And then over here it's x minus a negative negative again is going to give me a positive, or I switch the sign. So that's going to be x plus 7 squared. And then you take it from there to get the y by itself. All right. Let me know if you have questions.